So, we've just had a lot of fun traveling and touring around and showing people how they can optimize their movement, yoga or otherwise, how they can optimize their relationships, their choices, actions, habits, so that you are working smarter, not harder, to get the results and benefits that you seek, whatever those are. Okay, so that said, why don't you guys come up and gather closer to us, and let's begin with a little chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, get comfy. Feel free to lie down, stretch, fold forward, do anything that you need to. I mean, sitting is hard enough. So welcome to the Metabolic Fire Starter. Woo, just sounds fun, doesn't it? Like, yeah! Light it up. So what are you here for? In all of the description and all of the kind of stuff around this idea of lighting a new fire in some way that does something for you, what are you seeking?
Knowledge. Mm-hmm. Growth.
Okay.
That's good.
She's doing the Total Transformation Teacher Training.
Yeah, awesome.
Online. How do you like it?
I love it. Like, I just want to keep going back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go to the next lecture yet. I want to make sure I really get it. So,
That's cool.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Balance.
Balance.
Okay. How are you feeling out of balance right now?
Well, I fought cancer last year, and I beat it. And anyways, I signed up for, I did yoga a couple times out on a business trip. I run a small company, so, and I'm a single mom, so all these different things, pulling at me. And that cancer just threw a curveball that I wasn't expecting.
Sure.
So I signed up, after I practiced a couple times out on this trip in July, I went to Zen Zone, and I emailed Ruth Ann, and I said, I want to try your studio out. I want to try to incorporate this in my life because I enjoyed it that much out on this trip. I did yoga on the beach. Who wouldn't want to do yoga on the beach?
Right.
So anyway, that's how I'm out of balance. And I've been doing a variety of the different classes here, and all the instructors are very personable. They are.
Yep.
and awesome, and I love the classes.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
But anyway.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Isn't it interesting that in a super hyper busy life, you still had time to deal with and beat cancer? Which means to me that you now have time to deal with and put your life back into balance. You have that time, you can make that time.
That's the thing, is making the time.
Yeah.
And now I choose to make the time.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going
everything.
to yoga during the week.
That's the first step to any kind of transformation, is that you cannot let life try to come at you. You have to come back at life.
There's a wonderful analogy, which I heard a story of a teacher to his group he had one big container and a bunch of rocks, big rocks, medium rocks, small rocks, and little tiny rocks. And he said, okay, we want to get all these into here. How do we do that? And they're like, well, you put the small ones in first, and the medium and the big ones, and he tried it, it didn't work. It doesn't work. So actually, the way you have to do it is put the big rocks in first. Put the big rocks in first, and the smaller, and then the smaller. It all fits perfectly. But that's like our life, right? The analogy for our life. When we get so wrapped up in the minutia and the day-to-day, that I got to do this, and I've got to do this every day the same thing. I'll get to that later. Well, life comes at you. It throws you those curveballs, right? So much. When are we going to get to the most important stuff? Well, that should be our priority. That should be number one. Deal with the big stuff first. Get into that first, because then everything else will fit.
And what's the foundation? What are the foundational things that you know you need to be the most effective you, the most nourished you, the most clear, the most loving, the most able to give happily to other people, and to know when you can't anymore? What are some of those things that you need as the foundation of you being the most of you can be?
Happy.
Happiness. Okay. Wouldn't you like to feel like excited when you wake up about your life and feel pretty fit and good in your body. Know that the relationships surrounding you are healthy and happy and good for you. And know that you have some space in your day to do what you need to for yourself. Instead of just running at all your responsibilities. Overcommitting. Anyone? Really good at that? It's interesting to note that that's physics. It's physics because matter wants to fill a void. If there's a void, physics-wise, in this world, something wants to fill it up, whether it's water or it's air or it's particles or whatever it is. So even when we breathe in, we don't actually breathe in. Do you know that? You don't inhale. I mean, we say inhale all the time, but you don't actually inhale. Your breathing diaphragm drops down, the lungs expand, and the atmospheric pressure from the earth pushes air into your lungs, because it wants to fill that void. And just like that, if you create space in your life to do things or nothing, your subconscious even, will want to rush and fill it with all sorts of little stuff that doesn't really matter. So employing your conscious yoga brain to know that once your spaces are made, which is challenging but not impossible, as you've seen when an emergency situation happens, you make the time to go to the doctor. All of a sudden you deal with this. And there's time and space for it. So now we're going to put that to work on your own behalf, healthfully. But when the space is made, you got to employ that yoga brain to fill it with things that are good for you, that are healing for you, that are nourishing for you, and really be stubborn against the urge from other people wanting to take that time from you, or from you wanting to fill it with the mundane, the little rocks first.
When we overvalue other people's opinions and making other people happy and making ourselves look good and all the other minutiae, those are all the little rocks. All these things, because it takes care of a discomfort in this moment right now, an urge, a desire. Right now, I want you to be happy, and someone's going to give you what you want. Rather than looking into your life and saying, what is important to me in this moment? How can I put this in perspective? What is perspective? And I recommend everyone do this. Is look, what is your perspective? Well, it's your life, isn't it? This is the entire, what we have to measure ourselves by is death. At some point, we're going to die, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, I know, but
think about it, but
a lot of people don't like to think about it, don't want to go there, really don't want to think about that at all, but I think it's really, really helpful, because it's the only thing you can count on, really, in this life. So, like, cool, I know that's coming. How can I put everything into perspective from this moment forward and say, what is it I want to accomplish in this life? Put those big rocks on the table and really look at them and say, how can I then begin to address those as well as everything else? I think that is looking at the big rocks first.
And so we'll get to more of that in the second discussion. We'll be talking about all sorts of stuff, and you can ask me, like, is milk bad for you? And anything you want. Doesn't matter. So it depends. But, because I've written a book on how to come. It's called the 21-Day Yoga Body. I don't know if we have it here. Maybe we did. Ruth Ann, do you have the book in here?
I can by 12.
Okay.
I had some copies. I sold them this week.
All right, cool. Well, I wrote the book on this, on how to come back and live a fun, cool, healthy, balanced life in all the different ways, and what the kind of main principles of eating, of moving through your day, and of your fitness, of your exercise. We're going to start with kind of the exercise element this morning while we have hopefully a little bit of energy. So the way that we want to deal with the fitness here is to target the things that allow your metabolism to become more efficient. Now everyone says, oh, I want my metabolism is slow and I want it to be faster. Well, not necessarily. A faster metabolism means, like, have you ever seen a rabbit? That's a fast metabolism. You don't want everything working faster. You want it working better, right? And so it's more efficiency that we want. More of what you want, which is probably the 24/7 calorie burn instead of the moment that you do some exercise and then it's gone. You want to get your body to burn more calories all day and night long. You want lean muscle mass so you're strong Open muscles, though, so you're flexible, and that is what causes your body to start burning more of the excess calories and not store them. You want your body not to be a stress ball. Because if you're stressed out, your mind is working against you. You're going to first deplete your energy right there by just overrunning the huge brain that takes up a ton of your life force. But you'll start to release stress hormones like cortisol, which causes you not only precursor for many diseases, but can also cause you to just store body fat and feel awful and toxic and bloated. Not great. We want to get decent sleep. And the way to do that is to make sure that you've moved your body somewhat during the day. So you're not gathering stress, you're not gathering tight muscles, you're not gathering weird chemistry in your body. Your fascia is not a big hot mess over your muscles, and so it's not sending pain or irritation signals throughout the whole body. To work with the mind, right? To slow it down, to learn to do yoga and breathe. We want to also get into the belly area when you're moving and when you're breathing so that you can optimize digestion, so that you can release things like serotonin, which most of serotonin in your body is released from the gut and not from the brain. 95% of your serotonin is from here. So if we're not moving it, breathing it, getting into it, doesn't release properly, and serotonin is what helps you digest well or not. If you're not releasing serotonin properly and not working in your belly, you can get a very dysfunctional digestive system. And that's your calm neurotransmitter also. So if you want to feel satisfied and full and calm and like you can go with your life, you need serotonin to do it. Healthy relationships outside. All of these things yoga can help you with. It just kind of magically starts to teach you about yourself in so many ways when you're being present, when you're getting into yourself and you're seeking center. It starts to happen naturally outside of you too. Like, have you ever done a really nice, strong yoga class and you feel like, wow, I just really did something, and then you go out and you go to dinner and everybody's ordering like fried stuff and you just go, you know what, I don't feel like doing that. Like, after all that work I just did, I want a salad now, or I want, have a glass of wine, but I'm going to just like treat myself well. You ever done that? Where it's like the yoga leads into your outer world, or you get some drama happening right after yoga class, you're like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with this right now, I'm in my zen. Boop, leave a message. Right? Energetically. But then there are days or weeks when you don't do your practice and stuff starts creeping in. You start eating a little bit less optimally, your relationships start to bother you, your mind starts to bother you, your sleep gets off, whatever. It's very easy to go from conscious to unconscious and to then reap the benefits of those actions repetitively throughout your day. And so when we move, we don't want to do 3 hours of yoga or 2 hours of yoga a day. And in fact, if you're moving strongly, if you move too much, too strongly, your body will actually shut down and stop your fat-burning hormones and stop the calorie burn and stop the muscle build and start to tear you down and deplete you instead of doing all the good stuff that you want it to do. So you have to be really careful how you work. It has to be concentrated. It has to not be like, go, 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 because that can really release your stress hormones instead of the calming hormones, even if you're in yoga class. It's how you approach your movement, and it's how much of it you do. So there's a reason we're not doing a 2-hour practice right now. Tyler and I are going to do 2 things with you today. You want to talk a little bit about the yoga shred?
Well, so Sadie and I found that one of the most efficient and effective ways to do that, which he's talking about, is something we incorporated called HIIT, which is an acronym for High Intensity Interval Training. It's a fairly new phenomenon in the movement world, but it has been found scientifically to be the most effective and efficient form of movement for overall health, including everything you're talking about, weight reduction, metabolism balancing throughout the day, 24/7, blood pressure decreasing, overall calmness. It gets everything all at once, but it's also most attractively the most efficient time-wise. So it's the maximum amount of impact for the least amount of time that we've come across. So we decided to introduce it and bring it into our yoga practice and kind of bring the qualities of all the yoga that we've learned and developed and use it with HIIT as well.
Yeah. So in 7 to 15 minutes. I think we're going to do probably 15 minutes with you guys today. We'll do 5 on the legs, 5 on the core, 5 on the arms. 7 to 15 minutes will give you the body exercise benefits, lean muscle building, cardio, optimization, metabolism, hormonal balance, all the stuff that we're looking for from our exercise practice. It will give you the benefits of just having worked out for 2 to 4 hours, and it will last for 48 to 72 hours. So if you do HIIT on one day, you just want to do maybe a gentle, slow flow yoga practice, not trying to build more muscle at all. In fact, not going to that burn place, just to be and move. But it would be also just fine if you did 7 to 15 minutes of HIIT on one day, and the next day you did like a nice yoga practice. The next day you didn't do anything. The next day you did HIIT. The next day you did a little yoga. The next day you didn't do anything. Because your body needs a chance to repair and rebuild itself, like really at least a day. And if you don't give it that, it's always tearing down, and then you're doing more muscle building, you're trying to get more workout, and it's tearing down, and it's shutting itself down because it needs to heal, and we're not letting it, so then you're not getting the benefits that you want, whatever they are, and then you work harder, or more yoga, more fitness, I have to do more, I have to eat less, I have to eat cleaner, I have to do this, that, and it's just so frustrating, and all your body needs is a little rest.
Yeah. When we put everything in perspective, we understand that we've turned our yoga practice, we've collected so many things for our yoga practice to become like, well, then I want this also, and this also, and this also, and this also, and they try and put all these things into yoga practice. It kind of skews the yoga practice itself. This is what we're finding now that we're kind of looking at, we could actually take this part and do this part, and then do the yoga as well. And these two work really well together, but not necessarily at the same time, all the time.
And so I think what he's saying is that we've been using our yoga practice for exercise
Exactly. Yeah.
practice.
And trying to get stronger and fitter, and that's great.
And that's fine. Like, I love to see my body get stronger in yoga and all that stuff, but I see a lot with a lot of clients, a lot of students, that the need to use it as like every pose is strong, and you're really trying to like get toned and get stronger and see what you're made of, and it's kind of this vinyasa flow. We can easily lose what I think is a huge benefit of yoga, which is having a relaxation about the fitness part of it, and being able to just move for movement's sake and feel and dance with spirit a little bit and feel yourself, and let the breath move and not be hardening the poses so much, and let your body clean and clear itself out. Do it for the moving meditation.
Right, and maybe even begin to get into the spiritual aspect from which it came from.
Also, a lot of us aren't, and some of us are, but a lot of us, as especially Vinyasa yoga students, are not taking the time to do restorative yoga or yin yoga. Why is that?
Because nobody wants to spend the time doing that. They don't feel like it's...
Honestly, yes.
I know with my clients, they just are like, I'm not going to take any time
for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's a little bit different because Ruth Ann is a fitness. She's a fitness expert as well as a yoga teacher, a yoga leader, and she knows the benefits of all this stuff. And so she does talk about it here. I know that, but the vast majority of yoga people all over the country are kicking their asses with vinyasa yoga and then not taking the time to do the other things the body also needs to give them the benefits they want. So connective tissue opening with yin yoga, so important, because if your connective tissue isn't open, you are not only at more risk for injury, but that's your electrical system. 20 times more nerves or electricity from your central nervous system runs over your fascia. And when we work out, when we kind of do the strong stuff, or we're moving through our day, or we're not, we're getting bunched up, the nerves can't fire properly. And you won't build as much lean muscle mass, and your organs and your systems and your muscles aren't getting the information they need to work right. So we're getting really blocked up. If you can do like a restorative and clean yourself out practice for 20 minutes, or yin.
Incorporate that.
Or incorporate it. With the HIIT we're going to teach you, I think you'll all feel after 15 minutes of this, your body's good. Because it actually is. And then we can see what the quality of your yoga practice is after that, when you actually not only don't need to, but shouldn't push yourself in these postures too much. Otherwise you can flip the script and cut yourself off from the body benefits.
Not only does your body also benefit from doing, this is giving us the option to do different movements, which is really the key to getting fit in general. Not doing the same movements all the time. So even though we have a vast array of yoga postures, typically your average yoga class plays off about 30 or 40 postures maybe total. So you're more or less acquainted with those postures. Now you're doing those all the time, 2 hours a day, multiple times. Not only do you eventually, your body gets trained, it's like, oh yeah, I know these postures, so therefore I don't have to be, I don't have to work anymore. I'm going to just store some fat away. This is the way I think our body's always just trying to keep some fat. It's like, let me just hold on to this for a while, because you never know, I might need it later. So you do those poses, I'll just hold on to this.
Yeah.
Right? And if we get into that repetitive cycle, it gives the opportunity to store
out
more fat.
how to do that.
And then it also is a repetitive motion. So if we're doing the same repetitive motions, our body eventually starts to wear down. Especially if we're doing hardcore postures that are hard on the joints, your joints are going to start to wear out. And I'm starting to see this across the country. All my friends, yoga teachers and so forth, they're like, oh yeah, my back, my wrists, my neck, they always hurt, but that's okay.
Right.
Like, well, dude, that's not what yoga's about. It's just not why we're doing it. People just accept it because they've glommed it all together into one thing.
Our bodies actually lose a few things when we do yoga practice, predominantly. Cardio optimization. Yes, your heart rate can get up during yoga, but that's not the same. I think you'll see if you're not used to the kind of HIIT stuff that we'll be doing, you'll see what I mean, what the difference is. Also, some high impact. Some mindful, impactful stuff actually builds bone health and density. And if we're always just kind of moving really slowly, right, we're not getting that kind of movement that the body actually can and needs a little bit of. Yeah. And then we're not getting to the fast twitch muscles either, which really hug you in and tone you in a different way, just than the kind of slow movements that we do in yoga.
They're all important.
They're all important. And I just want to say, before anybody gets the wrong idea, that we are not about losing body fat as the signal that you're healthy. That is not the point. Your body is going to be in the shape that it needs to be, and we're saying get fit and get healthy for your body shape. Healthy is the new skinny. This is my natural body shape, and I'm not messing with it. I've been 30 pounds lighter than this, and it was so disgusting. Because I just wouldn't let myself eat, and I was overworking and undernourishing myself, and I thought that's how, and people were like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Your ass is so awesome, but I'm dying, you asshole. Like, they didn't know. I was doing it to myself. I've been 40 pounds heavier than this, and that wasn't my body shape either. That wasn't healthy for me because I was overeating and underworking. So now I'm at a good happy medium where I'm normal for me. I have some fat on I have some cushion for the pushing. That's all right. I'd like a little more back here, honestly, but I'm working on it. But we're not saying you have to lose weight and the number on the scale has to be the lowest humanly possible, and that's why we're trying to figure out how to do that. We want you to get fit for yourself consistently enough in the least amount of time, and then if you want to do a longer yoga practice, that's perfectly appropriate, but you're not going to have to do that every day, all day, because you can't, And for those of you who are underworking too, when he has 2 hours a day of yoga, if you're more like 2 hours a month, okay, then you need to take it up a notch, because this is for you, about you. Nobody else should get more of you than you give to yourself, period. Doesn't matter who they are or why.
The benefits that we've seen from a regular practice with this is pretty exceptional. I've been doing yoga fairly consistently and some kind of physical workout for so long, and I just saw kind of a plateauing, and it was frustrating. Not because I wanted to look different or anything like that necessarily. It didn't feel like I was making any progress or getting, like you said, to that what is for me a normal state, what I consider to be healthy, normal, because I've always more or less been in this shape my whole life. Give or take 10 pounds maybe, my whole life I've been like this. So, but I also was I would like to have more strength, more muscle mass, and be able to eat without worrying about it as much. It's been...
Because we do.
Because we do.
Last night, let's just say, because this is going to be part of the talk later, but we ate at... Peanuts. We had wings. My brother went with us. He's like, we're going.
He's like, you have to come here, the best wings in town.
Now, I'm not saying this is the way that you eat all the time. I'm saying this is the way you can eat sometimes and enjoy yourself and not have to worry about, now I have to do yoga for an extra hour tomorrow. I used to be that way. I'd eat some crap meal and then I'd go home and be like, oh, shit, now I have to do 3 hours of And then I wondered why I wasn't seeing the benefits I wanted. So we ate big old plate of chicken wings.
Big old plate of wings.
Big plate. And
Big
then my
wings.
brother made us order a triple decker BLT with eggs.
Eggs and extra bacon.
Extra bacon. So we're not vegetarians, in case you think
It was so
and wine.
Yeah,
beer.
so good, right?
Yeah, we had really good beer.
I mean, it was the first time we've been out with my brother in a really long time, and he's a family man. He's got 4 kids, and he doesn't get away very often either. So here we are, and I just, I wasn't afraid. I didn't even think about it again. Isn't that nice? Like, I didn't even think about that shit, and I'm sick of thinking about it. I'm sick of picking ourselves to death and being like, I ate this, and now I'm eating guilt. And I have to work out more and punish myself for it. Well, can we stop that now? Because you're going to eat what you want to eat. Own it. Like, if I'm choosing to put this in my face, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it. I'm not eating guilt anymore. First step. Second step, don't then punish yourself. Punishment is over. Move because you love the fact that you can move. Move because you're in your body. Move to just feel life a little bit more. And in the movement, the rest will take care of itself. But after today, you'll have even more tools for kind of what can really, really work and has worked for so many people. Perfection is done. There is none. Even supermodels have cellulite, so who gives a shit? Really. Like, what are we trying to do to ourselves? It's if you're in that perfection cycle, it's so constrictive. It's so hard. It's so closed. It's so awful. And you're never going to attain it. It's a control freak mechanism that comes from the ego not wanting to actually let you be free like you already are and have fun and just be liberated.
What's cool is now that we have this as part of our practice, and I do yoga shred, yoga cut 2-3 times a week on average, but we're traveling, it's hard to fit it in as much. And it's funny because the traveling makes it hard to do the physical movement, but it makes it really easy to eat all the kinds of food. Crazy, awesome, delicious awesomeness.
What I say today, I'm like, I really need to be moving more,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do that.
Yeah, but exactly. But the things we haven't, and yet I haven't noticed what I would normally like. That it would be, I would have already feel horrible. Look, I would usually see it on my body pretty quickly. Typically, I've noticed, but because I think my body has this habitual thing. Honestly, you say 24 to 48 hours. I think metabolism increases longer. I think it changes the overall way that your metabolism works. At least this is what I've experienced in the past week or so.
Yeah.
More than that,
Yeah.
we've been going.
And I thought about that too. I was feeling my legs, and they're much more toned than usual because I've done HIIT twice in the past week and a half, and that's enough. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So when let's get moving so we can move and see what we're even talking about. Drink your water right now, and because you're going to need it. And at any time too, feel free to stop and drink some water. It's so crazy what your body's about to do.
Quick pointers about this, about what we're going to do, and what is the benefit. The trick is it's not that what we're doing necessarily, it's how we're doing it. So you want to go, we're going to do 30, 20, 10. So 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. 30 seconds, just kind of go at the normal pace what you would do. 20 seconds, you're going to double that. You're going to go faster. And the last 10 seconds, you go as hard as you possibly can. That's important. The trick with this is to push yourself. You push your heart rate up as high as you can in that moment, and your body will shock awake and be like, oh my God, okay, now we've got to pay attention. You're shocking it to awareness, to realize you're not sedentary anymore. This is an unsedentary practice.
It's short though, very short.
Super short.
We're going to do 5 1-minute round. So a minute of one type of exercise. You, for your body, can keep it at the slower kind of warm-up phase, but just do a little bit more for you. You can modify in any way your body. If it doesn't move in some of the ways we're doing, we'll show you some variations as we go. I'll be the variation girl. So if you're not, if what he's doing is too much, you look at me and I'll have taken it down a notch. So we're going to do 1 minute of an exercise, and then take a moment, and then another minute of another exercise. We'll do 5 of those for legs. We'll rest for 2 minutes and walk around the room. What?
We do 1 minute rest.
Whatever you want. 1 minute rest.
Yeah,
fine.
1 minute rest.
1 minute rest. We'll walk. 2 minutes is a
Just
bit
get
long.
it. You'll thank me later.
Okay, 1 minute rest. We have to walk around, take a moment, and then we'll do 5 minutes arm stuff, take a 1 minute rest, walk around, and then 5 minute core stuff. So it's 15 minutes of exercise, but with the breaks, the rests, and the kind of showing stuff, it's 20 minutes probably, all in all. And then we'll move into a yoga practice that hopefully you won't be pushing yourself to do, and it's kind of nice.
And you get to enjoy the practice. You don't have to worry about the workout part. You already got that out of the way.
Yeah, and know that millions of researchers now, top researchers, top exercise colleges and Harvard and everything have shown that this actually works. So you can trust it. It's crazy short, but it will keep you for...
Like 2 hours.
Kind of like Tabatas.
Yeah,
It's
Tabatas.
exactly like Tabata.
Like, exactly.
We turned it into kind of... So take a short break if you would, and then come on back to your mats if you need anything.
You're
Yeah.
ready for this? I know. I've got some of my Saturday class here, and they can totally do it.
Easy. We've incorporated a lot of yoga movement instead of and some of the kind of Tabata stuff or the HIIT stuff, but we've tried to create them with some more yoga pose-like things too, so it'll be cool to see them. We wanted to mention that there are a few types of HIIT stuff out there, but the latest research is showing that the most efficient timing is 30-20-10, and the most efficient time is 7 to 15 minutes. So you could just do 7 minutes, but we want to get to the whole body today and just kind of show you different areas and what it feels like. And we've turned some of the fitness type moves more into yoga looking moves, and so this is really the newest, most cutting edge way to do it that I don't think many people are doing it. Because you go online and you can see this stuff, it's like 45 minutes long. It's too much, man. And it doesn't, your body will do the exact same thing in less time. So why? Why? Longer is not better in this case. But only in this case.
And there was
Good.
like I'm just jacking up my knees. Yeah.
Harder is not better. Okay, right to you. Right to you.